When was the last time you had a light bulb moment? And when was the last time you had a light bulb moment with your doctor? I'm Dr. Michael Smith. I am a naturopathic doctor here in Missoula, Montana, and I have, as I reflect on this week, have been able to help several patients with some light bulb moments, putting the pieces together of their health in a way that things click and make sense. We have to think about these light bulb moments being really as kind of this sudden burst of inspiration or clarity. Often comes because of creativity and problem solving and things like that. And and today I want to talk about what I think is the recipe for light bulb moments. I think I hope every patient can have a light bulb moment. Once a time when they are able to meet with a provider and better understand what is going on with their health. There's I think four things to this recipe that we need. Number one, we need the right patient. We need a patient who is willing to invest the time and the resources, the energy, sometimes money, to do the work required to find answers, to achieve that light bulb moment. The second part of that recipe for me is the right provider. And as a naturopathic doctor, I work with patients of all ages and with all different types of health conditions. And the naturopathic medicine, the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians, has articulated 6 principles of naturopathic medicine. Number one is to do no harm. Number two is to use the healing power of nature. These are not in any specific order. These are the order that I'm remembering them. Identifying and treating the root cause, treating the whole person, prevention, and the doctor as teacher. All these things, these principles really determine how I think and how I function as a naturopathic doctor. And I really still think that there's a seventh, and I'm borrowing this from one of my colleagues, Dr. Christine White, who really has talked about how the seventh principle of naturopathic medicine is resonance. We need to find a provider and a patient who resonate with each other. And true healing really happens when there is resonance. I believe that, and I've seen that with patients that I've worked with, patients that I can really just connect with. And whether it's personality or interest or just there's a good therapeutic relationship, that's when magic happens. That's when we can get light bulb moments to occur. So the first two things of the recipe, the right patient and the right provider, they go together. There's resonance. Things are working. The third thing is we need the right information. And it's if you think about the analogy of putting a jigsaw puzzle together, you can't fill in the whole image if you don't have all the pieces. It's impossible. You need all the pieces to put the picture together. And and I'd like to say that in order to get answers that we've never gotten before, we need to ask questions that we've never asked before. If you want different answers, you got to ask different questions. And someone as a naturopathic doctor, I'm always thinking about how to ask questions differently in a way that maybe other providers haven't. I often see patients that have tried multiple providers of different types, and despite the thorough workup and things, just answers haven't clicked yet. And so what I'm doing is I'm collecting the records of a patient when they come in and talking with them and figuring out, okay, what information do we have? What do we need to be able to solve this problem? And what more information can we get? One of the ways that I get that information is through lab testing, through whether it's blood testing, like a simple blood draw in the arm, can tell us a ton of information. Sometimes that's urine testing or stool testing, saliva testing. There's imaging. There's referrals to other providers who have more skilled training than I do in assessing what's going on. I'll take that information, bring it back, and I'll weave together this puzzle We need the right information in order to have light bulb moments. The last thing is we need the right amount of time. There's two ways that this manifests. Number one, we need to understand that healing is a process. We don't get sick overnight and we don't get better overnight. Sometimes we can make really big leaps and bounds, but still it takes time. And we have to understand, both me as a provider and a patient, understanding that this is a journey. We don't get on a path and then 3 steps later we're at the finish line. We need to walk. We need to go through ups and downs and hills and valleys and things like that. It's not always linear. And we need time. We also need time in the office. There's different statistics, but the average length of a primary care visit in the United States, depending on the source, is about 16 minutes. Sometimes some say it's longer, sometimes say it's a little bit shorter. But let's just say 16 minutes. And in that visit, the doctor, provider is asking some questions, there's some physical exams, there's putting together a treatment plan, and then there's wrap up, closing, see you bye. 16 minutes. That's not a lot of time. And certainly other providers, there are providers that take longer than that. For me as a naturopathic doctor, my new patient intake visit is 90 minutes. I need that much time to really understand a patient, to go the head to toe, to treat the whole person. I need to understand not only what we're talking about, maybe it's the heart, blood pressure, cholesterol, things like that, but I also need to understand the gut. I need to understand the nervous system, maybe skin, urinary system, lungs, whatever it might be, to really understand what's going on, what's the history, how things progressed over time, to do physical exams, to analyze lab work, to talk about results. I spend a lot of time with my patients teaching them, telling them what each thing on their lab tests mean and how it relates to them, how it's relevant. We can't do that in 16 minutes. My follow-up visits are like 30, 40 minutes, depending, usually. But we need time. If you were to put a cake in the oven and let it bake and left it and just put it in for 5 minutes, it's not going to be done. If you left it in for 30, okay, that's too long. It needs to be that right amount of time, and it really depends on the recipe. Maybe some cakes baked in 5 minutes. I just don't know. But we need the right amount of time and respect time. And we need that as a key ingredient. Right patient, right provider, right amount of information, and right amount of time. Those 4 things create opportunities for light bulb moments. I can't remember the exact details, but I was meeting with a patient yesterday where we were talking about different things, and like, well, that's really interesting because here's this pattern that shows inflammation and how it relates to your immune system or something like that we were talking about. And she's like, oh, that's really interesting because I've been thinking about something similar to that. Or being able just to provide a whole new perspective for a patient. Here, we're talking about osteoporosis. And let's weave in some things that I know about classical Chinese medicine and nutrition from a Chinese perspective that really resonates with why you are craving salt right now. And all of those things, they play together. And these light bulb moments are beautiful, and it's an honor to be part of it. To be able to provide that light bulb moment for a patient. Like, oh, that's why I'm not feeling well, because of XYZ. I'm not crazy. I am feeling horrible, and here's a reason why. I love those moments when I can provide that light bulb moment for a patient. And if you are looking for such a light bulb moment, if you live in Montana, Idaho, or happen to be Vermont, I'm able to help you locally or telemedicine. And if you're needing help, feel free to message me. Let me know, because there's many naturopathic doctors all around the country, all around the world, that are able to help. And the Find a Doctor tool on naturopathic.org, the American Association of Naturopathic Physicians, is a great tool to use, as is the findadoctor.org. Institute for Natural Medicine, INM, has a database tool for other naturopathic providers as well, naturopathic doctors. I invite you to check those out because there's someone who you can, if you can find the right provider, you can gather the right information, have the right amount of time, you can, I believe that everyone can have the light bulb moment that they need. I hope you can have one soon. Have a great day.